So, that's probably one of the oldest poems in this show. I first wrote it and started performing it about 2.5 years ago or so, right around the time Margaret Thatcher had died. And I performed it at an open mic night. I signed up and I did my little thing. And the next poet up was a really political poet with lots of material about what a dick Thatcher was. And I'd just come on and done my yay, confident women poem. And then the MC was looking for a link from my thing to the next thing, my thing to the next thing. Confident women, Thatcher being a dick. Confident women, Thatcher being a dick. And he said, like Thatcher. She didn't ask for permission, did she? Next poet is so-and-so. Ow. Good noise. My reaction to any Thatcher comparison now and forever could best be described through the medium of angry cat, as I kind of... But when I'd finally stopped bristling and retracted my claws slightly, I realised that he wasn't actually wrong. It's just that permission is very complicated stuff. If you're the person running the country, I think you should be asking for permission frequently. I think you should be checking in with the people that you rule to make sure that they consent to the things that you are doing. I don't think once every 4 years is often enough. And I realised that whether you're not asking for permission is a confident, empowered, gutsy thing, or a potentially harmful, abusive, bad thing, you need to run it through 3 questions. And the first one is, who has the most power in that situation? The second one is, are you hurting anyone? And the third one, this is the really important bit, is, do I like you? I started to realise that it was incredibly subjective stuff, but very interesting. And there was one example, as soon as I started thinking about it a bit more, there was one example from my own past that kept coming back to haunt me. Easter 2005. I remember when, because at the end of our long weekend, we wrote the date in spent roaches, photographed it in fits of giggles, amazed at how many we'd smoked. We even had enough spare to put a dotted line around the words, Easter 2005. We were free, we were alive, we were lightweights, passing spliffs, crisps, cans and sweets. Oh, could I have some of that too? We are old enough to cook for ourselves and young enough that this is a novelty. We are hyper, fueled by cider, M&Ms, herbs and spices. I'm the oldest by a year, so my ID somehow snuck a trolley full of booze past disapproving checkout clerks. The Easter holiday unrolls before us in rolling Devon hills and a holiday home we were somehow allowed in. Oh, could I have some of that too? Meet the person I want to talk about. Let's call her Jo because Jo isn't her name. I don't know her that well, but the 10 of us are friends. We must be, if we're all here. Everything we have is pooled. We are so abundant in stuff there aren't any rules. Passing to the left took too long, so we passed one each way and maybe a wild card third while Rosie rolls a fourth, sitting in the long grass in the sunshine. Oh, could I have some of that too? Jo doesn't seem to know she's one of us. Jo doesn't seem to know she's allowed. Every time we pass something around, and everything is always passed around, Jo doesn't seem to know that it's already coming her way. Jo's refrain over these few days is a timid, oh, could I have some of that too? Initially we said sure, of course. But 3 days in, and it's wearing thin. She has been told she's welcome so many times, but still, every instance needs assurance that she can have a jelly baby, a puff, some dinner. Sometimes it makes you feel rushed. Yeah, sure, everyone gets some pasta, just let me dish it out. But sometimes it makes you feel bad that nothing you say can put her at ease. but after 4 days of checking if she is allowed, 4 days of needing assurance, it's becoming self-fulfilling. Oh, could I have some of that too? This checking, am I included too, creates a gap. I never saw her as not part of the crowd until she kept letting us know she felt like an interloper. Oh, could I have some of that too? It's 5 days in and I've lost patience. Breaking down her disbelief is manual labour I can't be bothered with. I don't care enough to coax this frightened animal out of her burrow every time we pass some Pringles. We are all entitled to some Haribo. A look at that funny text. A toke. Of course you can have a toke. Are you joking? It's going round in a circle. That's how it works. The food is here. The booze is here. We are all sharing it all around. We are all welcome to it. If that's not enough for you, then just... I'm not proud of myself, but this verbal tick is taking its toll. Too many pleases puts you down one rung, down one rank. Now when I hear, oh, could I have some of that too? I want to say no. I hear others do it too. The yeah sure has become in a minute. The of course you can has become we'll see how much we've got left. Oh. Could I have some of that too? 2005 was a while ago. We were free, we were alive, we were lightweights. And I can remember the holiday home, but not everyone's name, and life has knocked me on my ass numerous times since then. These days, when things are going my way, often the first thing I feel is disbelief. I double check, triple check. Oh, could I have some of that too? Joe, I think of you more often than I want to admit, and Joe, I'm sorry. I remember you clearly now, not just because I know I was a bit of a dick. These days, I often find myself waiting for someone else to welcome me, waiting for some big shiny sign to say I am allowed to things it's no one else's call to say. And I think back to you and Easter and all those endless puffs of tea and wonder how often I've put up my own walls, driven things away with my own disbelief. Of course the hot guy was just being friendly. Of course that promoter was just being polite. Of course my friend didn't actually mean it when he said, come and stay with me in Spain any time. And I'm not just saying that, I really mean it. Joe, I think of you clearly now because I've always known your timid voice. I knew it long before I met you. I can try to put this in the past, call it Exhibit A, label this specimen with the date Easter 2005 and your name, but sometimes, when things are going my way, or when people I look up to treat me as an equal, often all I can think is, are you sure? This must be some mistake. I'm trespassing at this pub table. And all I need is a little reassurance. Someone to hold my hand and guide it, teach it to reach out and accept what's already being offered. Instead of sitting on sidelines, waiting, wondering, worrying whether, oh, could I have some of that too? People who've just come in, there's a bench, there's probably about 3 seats worth over here if you want.